If procrastination is something that you struggle with every single day, then you've clicked on the right video. Today I'm sharing with you the most important aspects that you must apply to get rid of this downfall for good. Let's get into it. So what is procrastination? Procrastination is the act of delaying tasks despite knowing the consequences. This will affect your productivity, mental health, and long-term goals, as everything will be bunched up into one single deadline. You're going to feel so stressed out, tired, and overwhelmed, which is actually going to prevent you from doing more of the work, as you're going to want to crave for more rest, and because of how much work there is, you're not going to feel bothered to do any of it anyway. So why do we procrastinate? So some psychological reasons could include fear of failure, perfectionism, and overwhelm due to the task being so complicated. Another reason could also be your instant gratification, which is the act of choosing short-term pleasure over long-term reward. It's like you're walking by in a shopping mall and you see a convenience store selling some Coke, then you decide to buy it from here, then the shop is a 5-minute walk down, which sells the Coke at a more affordable price. This is what you call instant gratification, and it actually will affect you and make you more procrastinated, as you really will not be motivated to do anything in the long term. What is also affecting your productivity through procrastination is a lack of clear goals or motivation. When you set goals, you're technically setting a reason of why you should do something, and that will be something that urges you to actually do the work. You'll be able to achieve and earn more in a shorter amount of time. Me, when I really just did not set any goals, I was so off track with stuff. I did not know where I was heading, and I was just doing whatever I wanted to. That actually caused me to procrastinate more, as I felt regretful of how I've been using my time and how unorganized I was. That will also lead to even more procrastination, because then I'd not be bothered to actually do any of the work, since there's so much that I think I need to do when it is all up in my mind. Now, some signs that you're actually procrastinating could include constantly saying that you'll do it later, or getting distracted by low priority tasks. If you have your phone right next to you and you're just working, you grab your phone to check the notifications that your friend sends you, you might as well just click on the Reels tab and start scrolling mindlessly for multiple hours. You wouldn't even realize how much time passes by because you're enjoying every single reel. That's going to actually affect your dopamine level afterwards and cause your procrastination. Alright, so now let's start on how to remove your procrastination. This will be broken down into several actionable steps. So first of all, what you guys need to do is start small. You must use the 2-minute rule to get started with a task. Break big tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. That is just like cutting a steak into really small pieces so that you're able to chew it out without having to hold onto one big bite for several minutes. You have to complete this homework. How about you just do a few questions now, then another few questions later for 2 minutes. That's going to help you get through so much more, because then your brain will not feel so overwhelmed when you feel that you are on track and you know what you're doing. Your subconscious mind will actually think that the smaller chunks is all that you need to do. After you take a quick break, then you will go back to do the 2-minute task again. You wouldn't procrastinate too much, as you know that you're organized and you're on track and you know where exactly you're heading. This really relates to the next part: set clear goals. You need to use the SMART goal framework. Many of you probably never heard of SMART before, but it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So what the SMART goal framework is that you need to actually be really specific about what you want to achieve, or else you really wouldn't know where you're trying to head. That's going to lead to problems later on in the future if you don't know where to head, because then you don't know what to do to actually achieve that goal. Measurable is actually realizing how important the reward is to you, how much you value the reward. And achievable means that you're actually able to achieve it. Relevant, something that's related to your goals or your hobbies. And time bound, of course, is that it's not going to take way too long. Next thing you want to do is actually create a plan. So you want to schedule tasks using the time blocking or to-do list. If you've never heard of time blocking or to-do list, so to-do list, of course, is where you write a checklist of what you need to do, and then you're gonna time block that, which is going to tell you what time to what time you're gonna do this task, what time to what time you're gonna do the next task, all that. That's gonna help you feel so much more on track, and it only takes up to like 10 minutes to actually set up, probably even shorter if you go to search up a tutorial on YouTube. Now, some productivity tools that you could use is Notion or Google Calendar for this. For Notion, it'd be really useful, as you can actually organize everything that you want. I personally use it a lot myself, and the link will be down in the description. But I just create this to-do list in like less than 5 minutes, and I can just link it to my Notion calendar. And then boom, you've already set it up for time blocking. All you have to do is just drag and extend the blocks, and then there, you know what time to what time you're gonna do what. Okay, the next thing that you need to do is eliminate distractions. Distractions are really something that so many people struggle with nowadays because of all of these things that are going on in our minds and all of these friends. You get the point. First, of course, what you want to do is actually set up do not disturb and stuff like that, or probably just turn off notifications at all. I personally use this free app called Refocus, which blocks multiple apps for you, and I use it to block all of my social media, all of my games, to actually prevent me from going on it. I also use Require Face ID on my phone, or hidden apps, the hidden app section on my phone. That will not remind me about gaming, and I would not feel left out. That's also going to lead me to use my phone even less and less, and that will be the prevalence of my procrastination. Okay, the next thing, all of you should know about this, and you must know about it, which is the Pomodoro technique. Now, the Pomodoro technique is where you work for 25 minutes and then taking 5-minute break. There's so many apps on the App Store. Just search up Pomodoro technique timer or something, and it's just going to come up with all of these apps that you can use to remind yourself to take breaks and get back to work. That way you will not feel too tired or procrastinated. You'll also urge yourself to go to do the work more, since you realize how much procrastination can actually hurt you. Okay guys, the next thing that you need to do is to find your motivation. Now, finding your motivation to most people really feels like it comes randomly. What you need to do is actually remind yourself of the bigger picture, how completing this task aligns with your goals. You need to remind yourself every single night and every single morning, as that's when your brain is the most fresh. That's going to get you to think more positively. Now, you need to also use affirmations or visualization techniques. So many people really mistake how important this is. By just spending time on positive talk with yourself and visualization techniques, just for 5 minutes, guys, you're really going to improve your life so much more. You wouldn't even realize it, but you're going to be so many more steps ahead than if you don't do any of this at all. This is actually the key part of removing procrastination from your life. You do positive talk with yourself every single night. Tell yourself that you're capable, that you're confident, that you can do it. Alright, you need to tell yourself that. You need to make sure that you believe it. Though at the back of your head, you might think that you're just lying to yourself, but your subconscious mind is listening. Your mind cannot tell the difference between positivity and negativity. Whatever comes out of your mouth will always be right. Okay, and also visualization techniques. That's basically just closing your eyes and imagining yourself succeeding. That's actually going to relate to your current emotions, and that's going to make you feel more confident that you can actually achieve it. You're gonna get used to the actual feeling of success. You're also gonna be able to go to bed with a smile on your face, because you're gonna remind yourself that it's possible, it's achievable, this goal that you're trying to get through. The next and final thing of how you can actually remove your procrastination is to reward yourself. Now, rewarding yourself is going to be another reason for why you should be actually working for something, but when you reward yourself, you're going to increase your dopamine level after, and that's going to motivate you further to actually go back and do the work. We actually form many kinds of addictions with claw machine games or like lottery, because we actually get the feeling that we can actually win. When you actually work for something and you reward yourself, you actually feel like you earned something. Now, honestly, my personal tips to actually removing procrastination is basically have a reason. Like I've said so many times before, having a reason is so important. Without having a reason, you really wouldn't find the point of actually achieving something. If you don't have a reason, then what would be the point of having something for yourself? You know, you really wouldn't feel like it's worth spending your time on it. This is why we spend time on social media a lot scrolling, because it actually keeps us distracted. It actually brings us that kind of feeling of joy, since you can actually relate to the reels, or it makes you happy, or any of that. That is actually going to keep you in the app for longer and longer. Alright, so now let me know in the comments what you actually learned from this video, and if you're going to apply these to your life. Now, thank you for watching until now. Make sure you subscribe, support the channel by liking this video, check the description, read it, and see you next time.